Natasha, petitioners yet to meet recall requirement according to INEC. Recall that as many as 250,000 signatures have been.
Well, at least this will give confidence to people that were wondering how they managed to get 250,000 signatures. At least INEC has shown that he's on top of his game and is following due process in this instance. So, if the petitioners have not met the requirements, INEC is in good order to throw out the recall the demand.
You remember that an attempt to recall Senator Melaye, of the same Kogi State, met a brick wall.
Yes. The recall process is cumbersome. So it will take a whole lot of loss of goodwill on the part of the individual to be recalled for that recall process to succeed.
All right. Super Eagles World Cup hopes dim after Zimbabwe draw.
Yeah, well,
to me, I saw the match.
I saw the match too.
We held on to a 1-goal lead until the last minute.
Yeah, I saw the match too, but it didn't come as a surprise because the attitude that we've approached this competition from the beginning has been worrisome. Even if we are not leading the group, we should not be far away from the current leaders or the current leader of the group as well. But we lost one match and then drew 3 in our first 4 matches. And given the caliber of players that we have, it's really terrible that this is where we are finding ourselves. But it's also good. It's a pointer to the fact that we can't take anything for granted. We need to put in the work for us to get to the top and stay at the top.
Okay, Russia-Ukraine war is still on the cards, but here the leadership talks about both parties agreeing to Black Sea ceasefire. They have agreed they won't attack energy installations.
Sanity is gradually coming into play because really, the war shouldn't have happened. It happened and they has, stayed on for so long. But with Trump's
intervention,
will I say is general disposition to spending America's money in Europe, it have put on a light in Ukraine that maybe it's high time we come to a round table and stop this carnage.
All right then. The next paper is The Guardian. The Guardian is here. The lead story: mixed reactions trail proposal to hold general elections in one day.
I think for me, the election should hold in one day.
It saves costs.
It saves costs. It saves time.
And a lot of toing and froing.
Yes. So for me, it's a welcome development.
Okay. What about the mixed reactions?
Well, for the politicians, sometimes the current procedure that we have helps them to strategize by the result of the earlier elections. So now, we are not getting it right here. So let's change our strategy. And in politics, a day is a lot of time. So for me, this would make every party to be on their toes to ensure that
they play by the rule.
They play by the rule and market the electorate so that they can get enough the required votes to get them into office.
Okay. Minor pieces include Minister unveils a 5 million job jobs initiative for youths.
Good as it sounds on paper, but hopefully the details would be clear enough, and the people that really needs the job will be the people that get it, and not just a propaganda piece to keep people happy.
Okay, how about this one? Federal government begins crackdown on irregular migrants on August 1st. Like the US, a migrant is the one that comes in. An immigrant is the one that goes out.
It's good, but with institutions, you can't just be too sure. This is the job of the immigration services, and the federal government shouldn't be, immigration shouldn't be waiting for the federal government to, should I say, declare a state of emergency for them before they start acting. It's something they should be doing, because this is what they get paid, part of what they get paid for.
Okay. Appeal Court stays action on Bayero Sanusi tussle, returns parties to Supreme Court.
This is supposed to be a matter for the local government and chieftaincy. What's it called?
Traditional courts.
Apart from that, I think that chieftaincy title matters are under the local government commission in each state. And I think,
but cases about chieftaincy titles go to the traditional court.
Yes. So this is being long drawn out, and it's not good for the traditional institution. In as much as we have a democracy and the traditional it's no longer presides over day-to-day life, but the preservation of that culture still has a long way in shaping who we are, and we should not use politics
to me. But we have talked over time about traditional institutions yielding to political pressure, and the other way around. Politicians meddling in traditional matters.
It's because the traditional institution too have allowed, should I say, greed.
Okay.
And they've allowed the politicians to mess up.
Okay, they played into their hands.
Because when you see kings giving out, the way they give out chieftaincy title, it has become a bazaar.
All right, of sorts.
Of sorts. So both parties should be careful.
Atiku rallies support for new political movement to unseat Tinubu.
It's within his right to
so to do.
But how genuine is their intention? Because if you mismanaged PDP, a well-established political party, what confidence is there to say that you'll be able to forge an alliance to unseat the current government?
All right. Organized labor threatens nationwide strike over Rivers political crisis.
Like I said, organized labor should be careful and not take a side in this matter, because organized labor was alive and well aware of the violation of constitutional provisions by the governor while he was there. So if they've kept quiet all that while, and then now they're just waking up, it's not tidy.
Okay. APC, PDP, Labour Party spent 13.4 billion naira on campaigns during Edo, Ondo, Guba polls.
Well,
Too little, too small?
no, elections are not cheap anywhere in the world.
Mm.
But are there stringent rules and guidelines to guide
Yeah, but I think there had been
party funding?
a law, stating the limits of funds you pump into campaigns and
Because
elections. There's a law like that.
in Europe and in America, contributions to political parties are scrutinized to ensure that there are no shenanigans in the funding, and that criminals are not funding political parties. One, that the political parties are not mismanaging the funding that they are getting, and they are using it exactly for what is meant for.
Okay.
We keep hearing how much the political parties are spending, but we don't know where they're getting the funding from. And of course, from speculations, most time it's from government coffers. So the political parties want to have people as governors, as have people in elected office, so that which shouldn't be the case.
Okay, let's take on this day. This day is here. Italy has 3 major headlines on the front page. In historic deals, US buys over 2 million barrels of jet fuel from Dangote refinery. We talked about that.
It's a good development, both for the refinery and for the economy, and also a pointer to other people that look, we can do well and sell our products
and there's some
outside the country.
There's some interesting riders here. Impact expected to lower prices of aviation fuel in peak summer.
Well, people during summer, there are a whole lot of travel all over the world. So availability of
aviation fuel will affect travel tickets and all that.
Definitely.
Okay. How about this? Cardoso hails growing investor confidence in economic trajectory.
Yeah, it's good, but consistency.
He says, despite challenges, progress achieved in foreign exchange stabilization, inflation reduction.
Yes, but you see, consistency matters. So, over a period of time, if this trajectory is maintained, the population will start feeling the effects of the actions taken by the government. So, for me, the consistency of these policies and the drill down to the citizens is very essential, or else it just becomes headline material and the reality on ground would not support it. But I believe that over a period of time, now we've had stabilization in forex, right? At least the going up and down of the naira has stabilized. So I mean, when you have stability, it helps you to plan. Not that you are buying at maybe 1,000 today, and then by the time you are selling, the dollar price had moved to 1.5 or 1.6. So if you have consistency, it helps the business. It helps businesses to plan, and if they can plan, it can also reflect in lower prices for consumers.
All right, how about this? Again, General Hydrocarbons Limited floors first bank in court.
Well, this
case has been
on for a while, and you see, things like this should be a pointer to Nigerians that the court is still the last resort for the common man settling disputes. But when we get to a political space, you start hearing that the judiciary is compromised. But the reality on ground is that if you have a case or a matter to resolve, go to court. That's why we have to be careful when we get to our political space and we start denigrating our judiciary. For the not too informed, it might make them lose confidence in going to the court to seek redress, and it's not good for the society when people lose confidence in court. They probably resort to self-help in certain matters.
Okay. There's a headline here, a line. Sea dogs. Affirmation of Rivers emergency rule by voice votes questions federal government's intent. The sea dogs, the pirate confraternity. Yeah.
Well, the Senate has the leeway to determine how to conduct its proceedings.
Its businesses.
Its businesses. And part of it is that they can have a voice vote which is within, it's part of their standing rules.
Okay.
The most important thing was the 2/3 achieved, right, which is what we should really look at. Now, on that day, we saw the proceedings on TV. No legislator in the upper or lower house stood up that day to raise objection to what was happening on the floor of the house. Of course, some of them are taken to social media afterwards to talk, which for me is playing to the gallery. You were present in the house. Everybody was given opportunity to comment, whether for or against. But it was a unanimous voice vote. So those legislators that are now playing to gallery from our own point of view are the people we should ask, why did you not get up when at the plenary to state your own objection, so that we can know that we have, because I believe that if they had voiced their own objection, the legislator, the house might have decided to take a vote so that it will be clear that, but they had a unanimous front, and they had the numbers to make 2/3. So for commentators or for people coming up, what we want is either we are now using those legislators that are playing in the social media to go back into the house and move that voice vote should be struck off. Part of the voting mechanism of the National Assembly, because as long as that is there and it is legal to be used, we can't be crying after the horse has bolted.
All right, the new telegraph is here, and the lead story is this one: Constitutional review. Reps want presidential, governorship, National Assembly, local government elections to hold same day.
For me, it's a welcome development. It's going to save resources, because INEC will not need to go over that process 2 or 3 times. Just once everybody is taken care of. It will also make political parties and candidates to work harder to get votes.
All right. Minor pieces. Natasha's recall petitioners failed to provide contact details.
And is an essential requirement of the recall process. So, should I say money down the drain for the people behind the recall process?
All right. UK hikes visa fees for visitors, students, and workers from April 9.
Well, it's unfortunate, but these foreign countries have been milking us for a long time, and they will continue doing so until we reorganize ourselves in such a way that we don't really need
to travel out. Okay. Core members will get arrears of 77,000 naira allowance, federal government.
They should make it happen because it's now becoming worrisome that since last year when the minimum wage was announced and coppers were told that they will be earning 77,000. Up to now, I was reading, I think yesterday, that the payment to coppers, even for their March allowance, was still the old sum. So, and the earlier the better they pay this, because some of these coppers are passing out. Passing out.
Soon.
Very soon.
Okay.
So it will be better for them to receive their arrears before we start hearing stories that some people got and some people didn't get.
All right. How about this? Slave trade back on African soil, says Shoinka.
It never left.